Hi, I'm Allison Powell, and I am an actor filmmaker, and today I'm going to be talking to you about one of the hardest lessons that I had to learn when I was starting out as a filmmaker, as a producer. And that is something that I'm still working on in my daily life, and it is the ability to admit that you don't know how to do something and being vulnerable enough and confident enough to ask for help. So I always tell people, now, my 3 favorite words on a film set are I don't know. And those 3 words can actually be incredibly hard to say, especially when you're just starting out and you want people to think that you've got this, you're smart, you're confident, you know what you're doing, they can trust you, they definitely should have hired you, you're dependable. But in reality, not everyone on a set can know everything. You can't know how to do everything. Like, that would just be insane. And so I started out pretending that I knew what something meant or what a piece of equipment was, or I'd go away for 10 minutes and maybe try to do whatever they asked me to do or what I thought they asked me to do, and then I would come back and just say, yeah, it's not working, or I couldn't find it, or I can't figure it out. And for some reason I thought it was better to kind of lie in these situations rather than just being upfront and saying, I don't know what that is, or I don't know how to do that, or I don't know who that is, and just asking for help. It's a really, really difficult thing to do that I don't think a lot of people realize and not enough people talk about. It takes actually an incredible amount of confidence to admit to someone that you don't know something and or that you need help. And I think it's a really important skill set for new filmmakers to learn and to embrace, because the only way that you're going to learn how to do something is by admitting that you don't already know how to do it. So now I do that on almost every film set I'm on, and I try to do it more in my daily life as well. So for example, we were doing some pickup shots for my feature and they were driving, so the DP built a whole camera rig on top of a car. He ratcheted everything in place with ratchet straps. And then at the end of the day, when we were breaking stuff down and I was helping out with that, I just said to the AC who was working next to me, I said, I don't know how to take off ratchet straps, so I'm going to watch you do it, and then you're going to watch me do it, and then I'll know how. And what was so funny is he turned to me and he said, I don't know how to take off ratchet straps either. And I had just assumed, because he seemed to have more experience in the camera department than me, maybe because he was a guy, I just assumed that he would know how to do it. And what was great is he just admitted right to me that he didn't know how to do it either. So both of us had to go to the DP and say, hey, we don't really know how to do this. One of the first shorts that I was on as a producer and part of a producing team, I said to the producer who was filling in all of the SAG paperwork for us, I said, can I watch you fill it out? And I just stood looking over her shoulder as she filled in everything, as she went to the actors and had them fill out their contracts, because I didn't know how to do it and I wanted to learn. And the only way that you will learn is by asking for help and admitting that you don't know how to do something. And I want you to really embrace these words, I don't know, when you're on set. Embrace your vulnerability as a filmmaker. I think people think, and I certainly used to think, that it was a sign of weakness to admit that you didn't know how to do something, and people would fire me, they would think I didn't belong, they would not ask me to do anything in the future, and the total opposite happens. People get more excited. They want to teach you. They want to help you. They want you to expand your knowledge base so that then the next time they ask you, or the next time they want to hire you for a project, you already know the shorthand. You know what they're asking you to do. When you embrace that vulnerability, you also make people want to work with you. If you just march around acting like you know everything and know how to do everything, people don't like that. It's going to be arrogant. It's going to turn people off. If instead you ask for help or offer help when it's needed, people are going to want to be around that type of energy. So being vulnerable is a great way to get people on your side. And I say being vulnerable, but it's really being confident. It's really having the confidence to be vulnerable and say, I don't know. Those are the 3 best words on a film set. It also is really important to remember that that could be a safety concern. If you don't know how to do something or don't know what a piece of equipment is or how to use it, you need to say that. You will not get in trouble. You will get in trouble if you pretend that you know how to do it and somebody gets injured or something gets broken or a lot of time is lost. And so again, it's just better to have that confidence to be vulnerable up front and say you don't know how to do something, and then either learn or observe so that the next time you can do it. But on set is not the place to pretend that you know everything, pretend that you tried to go and do something and come back and lie about it, which is what I definitely used to do. It's the place to say, hey, I don't know how to do this, but I'm here to learn and I'm willing to learn and I want you to show me so that I know how to do it tomorrow or on the next project. And that is my secret weapon as a filmmaker. It's how I learned everything I know, pretty much, is by having the confidence to be vulnerable and go up to someone and say, I don't know how to do that. Can I watch you? Can you show me? Can you talk me through it? So if you want to become a better filmmaker, have the confidence to be vulnerable, ask for help, and admit you don't know. Thanks for watching.